from Atlanta, home of Unity 94. This is Unity News Now.
Hello, I'm Mike Chen.
And I'm Samantha Ross. Welcome to Unity News Now. We're all familiar with the O.J. Simpson story, from the gruesome murder scene to the bloody glove.
Samantha, it's been called one of the biggest court cases in history, but how has all this media coverage affected the minds of viewers? Derek Dennis is here to tell us more. Derek?
Mike, Samantha, earlier this afternoon, a panel of journalists, community leaders, and legal scholars came together to vent their frustrations and to find out where the O.J. Simpson story took a turn for the worst. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, legal correspondent Star Jones, and Washington Post columnist Donna Britt were on hand to address the problems in the recent coverage of O.J. Simpson.
What I'm afraid of is that we're blurring the line between the more tabloid shows and the news shows, and in this competitive era, we're forgetting that we're supposed to be journalists.
CNBC correspondent Sheila Steinbach moderated the session. Like many, she says she was shocked by the coverage.
As exhaustively as this issue has been covered, we did not know and had not seen anywhere that this was all white executives who made the decision on Time magazine.
And amidst the individual reaction of the panelists to the coverage of the O.J. Simpson case, one thing came clear. There needs to be less checkbook journalism and more people of color at the decision-making table. The question of ethics was high on the list of topics during the discussion. Many, such as Jackson, feel ethics have been sacrificed at the expense of O.J. Simpson.
High ethical standards are good for the subject and the reporter.
I would just like to say, as the
Now also at this afternoon's session, Reverend Jackson announced he will organize a boycott of television stations across the country if more minorities aren't in decision-making positions. And the lack of minorities in those positions is cited as the cause of the mistakes in the O.J. Simpson case.
Thank you, Derek. Well, the future of the broadcasting industry is currently undergoing drastic technological changes, but is it all positive? That's the topic of today's final plenary session of the Unity 94 convention this morning. Many journalists fear new high-tech improvements will cost lots of broadcast jobs. Not so, say many industry executives.
Yet discern all the details. Still, this much is clear. New online interactive media will vastly expand the quantity of news and information available. They'll open new channels of communication.
Panel members representing the Clinton administration say the president is also seeing to it that minorities and the poor are also given equal access to his proposed information superhighway.
Business. Black business is booming. And according to the 1990 census report, revenues were up for business all around the nation. But what about the black press? Well, professionals here at Unity say one of the oldest and most important jobs in the black community is growing and changing.
Black press is enjoying a rebirth. I mean, looking at Atlanta, there are like dozens of magazines and newspapers that are cropping up every day.
I mean, one of the traditions of the black press, it was a tool for the community. And so I think the black press can continue being that. There are new issues in the African American community that I think the black press could be addressing.
The Atlanta Daily World is one of Atlanta's oldest black-owned newspapers, and today it's recognized as a historic landmark.
Environmental racism, it's a term used by some to describe how pollution affects minority communities. As Melissa Vigil tells us, many people of color are being hit the hardest.
Environmental racism, a problem that cuts through social classes and affects minorities the most. Communities of color are fast becoming the dumping grounds for America's waste. During the Unity Conference, this issue was addressed in the panel, Environmental Racism in Native America. Activist Winona LaDuke says this isn't just a minority problem.
It's issues of having contamination in your water, contamination of your air, mercury levels in the fish that you eat, having breast milk which is contaminated with PCBs and dioxins. Those are issues that this country needs to face and we need to address instead of being in a state of denial.
Greenpeace Communications Director Gatsby Greeley says environmental destruction is a result of businesses trying to save a buck.
corporate America has a vested interest in making money and putting these sites and getting rid of waste as efficiently and as cost-effective and cheaply as they can.
Greenpeace is one national organization trying to help increase awareness of this problem through videos. The federal government is also taking a more active stand by proposing legislation such as the Clean Water Act. Gail Small, an environmental issues attorney, says indigenous groups are utilizing their sovereignty.
There's a tribe up in Montana who are at a point where they have met all the requirements to become their own regulatory agency, the Flathead Nation, Salish and Kootenai Nation.
Minorities and most national groups agree environmental racism needs to be fought together, because this problem affects everyone. I'm Melissa Vigil for Unity News Now.
Coming up, we'll take a look at registration fees at the Unity Convention.
What you paid may not be the same as what others did. We'll tell you why.
And then a Naja ceremony to honor the first Native American journalists.
Thank you. You actually have one. Thank you. Yeah.
添丁快樂，恭喜恭喜恭喜發財 ！Happy birthday to you！ 生日快樂！維護民主自由，請即登記投票。電話請打415-397-8133。
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so I rise, I rise, I rise.
Unity 94 has been in the making for 6 years, and although it has brought together a diverse group of journalists, there's one group that says Unity left them out. Paul Bennett has the story.
Unity 94, a sea of red, yellow, brown, and black. People who all share a similar history of race discrimination. But gay and lesbian groups say they too suffer from discrimination. The National Gay and Lesbian Association says some of its members would like a bigger share of the Unity spotlight.
What I'm aware of is that I've gotten a lot of calls from members of our organization, both people of color and not of color, saying how come we're not at the center stage with the others.
Unity spokesperson and board member Lloyd LaQuesta says it's an issue that needs to be examined more closely.
Granted, perhaps that Roy is correct in saying that there wasn't a big enough spotlight, and that is something that perhaps we will look again. Should there be another Unity? But this is our first one. We still feel that the gay and lesbian journalists were with us. They were part of the Unity, and we're very happy that they were part of it.
But not everyone agrees with that view. James Campbell is a reporter for the Houston Chronicle and a member of the National Association of Black Journalists.
I think their concerns are valid, but for the purposes of this conference, I didn't think they should be included, because that tends to cloud the issue and kind of lump minorities all into that same basket again.
This is an important issue which must be resolved in the days, months, and years to come. For Unity Now, I'm Paul Bennett.
A fight by gay rights activists to remove an Olympic event in a metro Atlanta county is over. The Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games is pulling Olympic volleyball out of Cobb County. Protests to get the games out of Cobb County exploded last year when commissioners passed a resolution condemning the gay lifestyle. And also, Unity 94 costs big bucks, and no doubt many of you have shelled out lots of them. However, some of you have paid more than others to take part in this historic event. Deanna Bollard takes a look at who paid what and why.
How much did you pay to register for Unity 94? Well, if you think everybody paid the same amount, Think again. How much did you pay to register?
$250. $175.
And what do you get for your money?
Includes the annual banquet and the some social function this year, the Enya Collection, which is a reception, transportation, and food and music.
All four organizations base their fees on past convention rates, and the bigger the group, the higher the price. For instance, on-site registration for the Native American Journalists Association, the smallest group, is $200. The National Association of Black Journalists fee is $475, more than twice what NAJA members pay.
The size of the organization plays a large role. Any of the events that we have that incur any special costs cost us more.
While the cost of each group varies, there is one common thread. The fees are what help keep the organizations running.
The convention is our biggest revenue producer, and so we have to make sure that our costs are covered for the events and that we're able to make some money in order to pay for our programs throughout the year. And
by the way, if you think you paid more this year than in previous years, you're right. Each group tacked on a fee, especially for Unity.
We put the $25 surcharge on the Unity fee to basically cover the overhead expenses of staging this convention. And since we do not have a previously established budget in Unity, it was necessary to generate revenue to pay for those overhead expenses.
For Unity News Now, I'm Deanna Bolar.
The Native American Journalists Association, or NAJA, made a ceremonial pilgrimage today. The ceremony was held at Nuakota National Park in Rome, Georgia. NAJA honored past and present founders with a traditional prayer ceremony. The ceremony was held to recognize the struggles Indian people have gone through to break into the field of journalism.
In our next segment, Unity News Now brings you Dateline Atlanta.
We'll tell you about the competition for jobs among minorities.
Plus, we'll tell you how to get the look that may help get you a job in television news.
The people of the Lummi tribe saved for months before a celebration because they believe a person's wealth is measured by what he gives away, not by what he keeps.
Help preserve traditional Native cultures by supporting the 29 American Indian colleges.